I always videotape because of my thing, just to keep a record. I'm not going to put it on you, but I like to keep a record.
I'm Catherine. I'm a nurse practitioner. Nice to meet you, Jason.
A nurse practitioner. So are you a nurse?
I am.
Okay.
Who has advanced training and the capability of prescribing medications, ordering tests, interpreting.
Well, I'm looking for primary care, everything, you know.
That's what I do.
Great.
And who's your friend here?
This is Dan, my friend.
Hi, Dan. Nice to meet you.
And what was your name again?
Catherine Birchall.
Catherine. Okay, Catherine. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go over your medical chronic problems, such as high blood pressure, asthma, things like that. Do you have any chronic conditions?
Well, as far as I know, and I'm not a doctor, you know, I have heart palpitations, I have violent shakes, my eyesight gets blurry, sometimes I get dizzy when I stand.
So what I'm interested in is if someone's diagnosed you with a
I haven't
condition.
had health care for 12 years since my last doctor abandoned me, Mitchell Katz, the director of public health.
Okay. Have you
Actually,
ever
it
had any
wasn't
surgeries?
okay.
Okay. So we'll go on. Have you ever had any surgeries?
When I was a little kid, yeah.
What?
I had my appendix out. That should all be in my health care records in the Department of Public Health.
We don't have access to that on any kind of computer. So we'll have to have you.
I'm confused. So you're not related to the Department of Public Health?
We are not a Department of Public Health clinic.
You're not a Department of Public Health.
No.
So who?
We're part of the city consortium clinics.
Like
so Tom Waddell is a DPH clinic, but we are not.
Okay, so now what do I do about my billing since I'm, indigent?
Did you sign up for a Healthy San Francisco homeless?
And I was rejected when I did that years ago.
Okay, I would recommend you sign up again and talk to our eligibility staff.
If they can answer why I was rejected last time and denied. I mean, I don't mind doing what's right as long as people are accountable, but, I have an adjustment disorder, which means I don't adjust to disorder, or I'm a well-adjusted individual in a maladjusted society, and if I've already applied and been denied in the past and told there was no appeal, I'd like a response as to, why wasn't I helped when I initially sought it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I cannot help with that, but I can...
But you can understand the reasoning of my nature of questioning because of my disability.
We'd like you to have health coverage, though, so let's have you talk to someone before you leave today.
Well, I'd like to have health coverage, but at the worst case scenario, under indigent care, I still have to be seen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the city has to pick it up.
Okay, but going back to that, so I don't have any access to whatever. The only things I have are blood results from 1998. And
how did you get that if you don't have access? I'm confused.
I have access to the general hospital only.
Isn't general hospital part of the Department of Public Health?
Right, but they only have certain notes. So unless it was an electronic note, I don't have access to it. Okay. So do you have a dentist?
No.
No. Do you need to see one?
Well, I've never seen one. It would be nice to have a decent life.
So I can refer you to our dental clinic.
I'm much more concerned with primary care right now.
Okay, but that's a primary care question.
Okay, I understand, but...
So I'm going to ask you lots of questions, and I'm going to ask you to answer them.
Please?
Would you like to see the eye doctor?
If it's part of primary care, yes.
Do you know the last time you had a tetanus vaccine?
Nope.
Do you know your family's medical history?
Not really.
Anything significant? Any cancer? Anything you know? Or nothing?
Well, I know my mother died of cancer.
Okay. Do you know which kind?
No.
When'd your dad die?
I don't know. I know he's dead, but I don't know, what caused it, or what it was. Pneumonia, I think, or something like that.
So now we're going to talk about your social history. And right now, where are you living?
Where I've lived for the last many years, the same address.
Is that an apartment, a
Yes,
hotel?
an apartment.
Okay. And right now, are you married, single, widowed, divorced, or
Widowed.
no partner? Okay, right now are you sexually active?
No.
And any drugs in the past? Marijuana, crack cocaine, heroin, meth?
I have a prescription for medical marijuana for anxiety and depression that was initially given to me by Mitchell Katz back in, I think it was 1998, when we went through the Board of Supervisors after they passed Proposition 215 for anxiety and depression. And then when my doctor abandoned me after the hospital broke the law, San Francisco General, he discontinued my medication. It's still not okay, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying okay as in I'm putting that in here and
Yeah, well, yes.
moving on.
As opposed, you're saying okay for a yes, as opposed to okay, I understand.
Any alcohol?
No.
Do you drink caffeine?
Yes, coffee, yes.
How many cups a day?
3 or 4.
And what's your highest level of education?
A little college.
And what is your profession?
I have no profession. I'm disabled.
And is the disability a physical disability or mental health disability?
Mental health.
Okay. And who is your psychiatrist?
Don't have one.
Okay. When was the last time you had one?
Never got one.
Okay.
This was all, when my doctor abandoned me.
Other than anxiety and depression, did anyone ever diagnose you with anything else?
Adjustment disorder is what I was told by my doctor, and explained it to me.
Okay. Would you like to see a psychiatrist?
That'd be great.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'd like to see a group of psychiatrists so I can show them what I've been put through from the medical community and how I've been abused and harmed deliberately by the medical community, so that they can understand that my stress from the betrayal by the medical community. Correct. I would love it.
Sure.
Will there be any accountability if everything I say is true, or will it just be filed away and thrown somewhere and hidden away? I don't want what happened to me to happen to anybody.
I'm sorry about that.
Well,
I can give you a list of available community mental health centers, and you can pick which ones you like to seek care from. I cannot do a direct referral to the psychiatrist.
well, so then you're not giving me a psychiatrist. That was a lie.
No,
You're giving me a referral which may or may not work. And if I come back and it doesn't work, well, then you send me to somebody that will? Or is this just false process?
No, I am not, I cannot do referrals for mental health, but if you would
Well,
like,
then you can't do referrals for mental health. Thank you.
I'm advocating for you to enter mental health care.
Well,
And
when I go and I seek and I don't get it because of whatever screwed up procedures they have, will you come and enforce what you're advocating? Do you understand what false hope is? As a doctor, and to offer it to a patient.
I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are, because you haven't answered the question appropriately.
I'm sorry. I can offer you the list, and I hope that you can advocate for yourself by going there.
And when that fails,
well, I hope it doesn't.
well, we can all live in false hope. I've been living in false hope for 12 years. The reality is, I think we both know what will happen. It will fail, and when I come back and say it's failed, what are we going to do about it? You'll probably just throw your hands up in the air and say, well, it's not my job. I've done the best I can, wash them, and walk away.
There are many mental health centers in the San Francisco community, so hopefully we can find...
Hope does not exist in my life. It hasn't existed for 12 years doing everything right. That still doesn't answer the question. It's a nice evasion. Hopefully we can do everything right. Will you assume responsibility and accountability so that I will get it? It's not that difficult of a question, doctor, nurse, to do no harm.
That's a question that is not answerable.
Sure it is. You just choose not to answer it. Will you become responsible or accountable? Or will you just let me into a dead-end path that we both know doesn't work?
You're going to be responsible for it.
Yeah, and when they go there and they return me down because, of whatever reason that they come up with that's not accountable, that's not even legal, then what?
You have to fight first.
Oh, I've been fighting for 12 years. I don't have a desire to continue to fight. I desire to get help and to have my doctor or nurse practitioner support me in my health and to stand as my advocate. Because what I've been through, no one deserves. And if there's going to be game playing in the future, you know, we deserve to make it better for everyone else so that there will be a better world, as opposed to, like I said, just sending somebody somewhere where it's not going to work and there's going to be no accountability, you know, and lay it on the victim.
So let's move forward.
You know, what's going on? I'm just recording what I'm saying so that it can't be said that I did not tell the truth each and every time, and that I still couldn't get a proper answer from the medical community.
Please tell me about your vomiting. When did it begin?
It's been going on for years. Every time I get really stressed out, when I dealt with the city trying to find health care, and they continue to, you know, deny and to break the law, my body can only take so much, and then it basically, you know, cocoons itself, and I lay down for weeks or nights or days, you know, just to let my body repair itself. The stress becomes overburdensome, and I have had nothing but stress, bad law used against me, no humanity, and that's when it all acts up. I have many stressors in my life, and the stressors are due to everybody else not performing, not doing what they're supposed to do, and to continue to blame the victim, because nobody enforces medical law when somebody breaks it. And I can give you a...
your nausea and vomiting. You let it run its course?
Yes.
Do you have any acid reflux? Any heartburn feeling like...
Sometimes, but not most of the time. Most of the time it's right here in the pit of my stomach. And like, you know, once I start to throw up, I'll like grab it and hold on to it so that I get it all out, because, you know, it's I think it's bowel related, it's stress related. It's, you know, not eating properly because, you know, I barely pay my rent, I barely get by. And then all my health care, lack of health care, all those issues that it brings forward.
Have you noticed any particular foods that aggravate it?
I only eat maybe if I'm lucky once a day, so I can't really answer that question.
What foods do you eat when you have the ability to eat?
Pasta or Chinese food, you know, something light.
Have you ever tried any over-the-counter products?
No.
Let's have you take a seat right up here. What would be helpful is if we could have you sign releases for the places where you were denied care before, to read their notes and to have it all in one place.
You mean, yeah, well, that's something that we can talk about in the future, because, for example, if you're through the consortium, I went to the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. I'm the only person that I know of who's ever been denied health care at the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic, you know, and they even broke HIPAA law by, you know, getting my records from San Francisco General without me signing for it. And they were never held to account.
Okay.
Well, it's, once again, not okay.
Okay. Well, let's get your records.
It's just what happens. Well, when you get my records and it proves that they broke the law, then what will come of it? Do you understand the point that I'm trying to make? You know, records are meaningless. Legal, of course, I understand the separation between legality and medicine, but I also understand that I'm entitled to both legal rights and medical rights, which have been completely ignored for years.
What I'm trying to do is take your history, evaluate your physical symptoms, and develop a plan.
Yes, the SOAP
So let's
acronym.
move forward with that. Okay, now sit up for me.
Oh.
Open wide and say, ah. Do you have any throat pain?
Yes.
Yes. Any bad taste in the mouth?
Yes. And I have, like, you know, like on this side, I can swear it smells like it's infected or something, just really rotten at times.
You have some discharge in your posterior throat.
Yeah, well, it's probably cancer.
Would it be okay if we took a sample today for infection?
Sure.
Okay. I'd like you to open your mouth wide one more time and say, ah. I'm going to look at your pupil. I'm going to look at your nose.
Sure.
This goes inside your nose. It might feel strange. So you were saying you have nasal congestion or discharge?
It's on this side. It'll clog up and it'll be like yellowy and mucousy, and I swear it smells. This side always seems like it's clear.
Okay. I'm gonna feel your throat. My hands are cold. How long have you had the nasal congestion?
Months.
Is it more when you go outside, more when you smoke more?
I can't say. My life is full of nothing but stress. It's difficult for me to even, establish a baseline because, like I said, every day I have to get up and fight for what's right and get nowhere.
I'm gonna have you take a deep breath with your mouth open each time you feel my stethoscope.
All right.
Almost done. I'm gonna listen to your heartbeat. I'd like you to just breathe normally. I'm sorry?
No, I'm breathing normally. I'm just
Okay.
gonna.
Now, your pulse is elevated. Do you usually feel...
Chest pains. 2 weeks ago I called Mobile Crisis to tell them I had chest pains, and they refused to come out to help me, just to show you how unethical everything is
I'd
and
like to do
irresponsive.
an electrocardiogram today.
Well, I don't want to do anything that's going to affect, until we get the billing worked out, because the last thing I need is for my credit to be ruined.
Okay.
Let's figure out what's going to go on, whether I qualify for indigent care, and then, after that, whatever. But I cannot assume responsibility when I barely get by, and live on my Social Security. I'm indigent, so, until those factors can be cleared out, I'm willing to do anything that I need to do to receive my primary care. But, I need to know that I'm not going to have to worry about having some bill hang over my head.
All right. Would
simply
you like
because
to
the
proceed
system.
with the rest of the physical? Or would
Yes,
you like
please.
to speak with
No, let's do the
eligibility?
physical, and then we'll do the eligibility, and then we can talk about whatever tests we want to run afterwards.
How are you?
So then I get sharp pains right here too, especially like right there. Sometimes I can touch it and it's really hard and it hurts, a lot. And I'll have a hard time going to the bathroom and I'll sit there and I'll push on it and stuff like that.
When you do have a bowel movement, what is it like?
Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's, like diarrhea, it's constantly, depends on the stress, I guess, I don't know.
I'm going to tap your stomach. And press gently.
Well, that's the side where,
Okay.
feel pain, and sometimes it's worse than others.
When was the last time you had a bowel movement?
Probably this morning.
It was a little full. This is the last area where we make stool. So often people can have kind of pain, gas pains if there's constipation back up. I'm going to have you sit up for me.
She's better than the TSA people.
I need to go retrieve a form.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to have someone from eligibility come in to talk to you. And then I'd like to go over my plan of care. Okay. So,
May 1,000 camels walk your way in the desert.
all right. Therefore, I will
I'm
not
not-
get lost.
I'm
Right.
not unreasonable. I've just been handled inhumanely for years. I'll be sorry if there's no accountability.